Let's bring in Optimize Advisors, Mike Khouw. Mike, you've been in the trenches as an oil trader prior to doing what you're doing now. What is your take on these huge and sort of bizarre swings for oil?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is that we actually have to keep today's move up in context, right? So in percentage terms, obviously, it was a huge move. But materially for the industry, we're still in very deep trouble. And, you know, the price of oil that we usually look at is WTI, West Texas Intermediate. Brian, I know you have a lot of experience in the energy business. And, you know, the other sort of benchmark for crude that we talk about is Brent. And for quite some time, over the course of the last several weeks, even before the most recent very sharp declines as a result of demand destruction related to the virus, we were already seeing big bets being made that the spread between WTI and Brent would widen. It obviously has done that. But I think people need to understand that, you know, this is a perfect storm for domestic oil and gas, and it's a perfect model for understanding how economics and supply and demand work. The situation is really a very easy one. It comes down to this. The world is producing tremendous amounts of oil. The United States is the largest producer in the world. We're producing 13 million barrels a day or so right about now. That's up from about 12 million a day a year ago and less than 10 million in the same period in 2018. Meanwhile, Russia and Saudi Arabia and basically, you know, the rest of the oil-producing world had reached some sort of consensus on production. They basically gave up on that. And the Saudis are talking about they've increased their production by about 2.5 million barrels. Put this in perspective. The world uses, in round numbers, about 100 million barrels of oil per day. And about 10% of that comes from, you know, probably air. So we're going to see huge destruction of demand there, maybe as much as 30%. So you start adding all these things together and you start seeing very big supply-demand imbalances on a daily basis. I think it is obviously a smart thing for the U.S. government at this point to step in and fill the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which I think had excess capacity of just over 70 million barrels. But if you start talking about a supply-demand shift in the neighborhood of 5-6 million barrels a day, you're going to start running out of any available storage. And that's when you get into a situation like the one we find ourselves in right now. And I'm not sure that, you know, today's bounce tells us that it's all over.
Yeah, it's been truly incredible moves, and maybe we can get Russia and Saudi Arabia back to the table, although it feels like those dogs have sort of left the doghouse, if you will. Mike Khouw, thank you very much.